Welcome to Pixelated Therapy, where we take video games, mental health, psychology, and things of that nature, and what we do is to show the connection between them all. Now, as of late, on this channel, you've seen me playing Phasmophobia, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, FNAF, and will likely see me playing a few more horror-related games on this channel in preparation for videos like this one. The idea for this type of research came from my playing Phasmophobia. While it's far from a perfect horror game, I really enjoy playing the game with friends, and as of the time of this recording, I've racked up almost 600 hours of game time. What it led me to ask, though, is why I have such an attraction to games like this. Not only that, but why are so many others attracted to horror games? Horror, as a genre of video game, has really taken off within the past 20 years as the popularity and acceptance of gaming has improved. I'll give an example. Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation sold about 4.96 million copies worldwide upon its release. The remake of Resident Evil 2 has sold over 10 million copies. This shows just one example, but this can help us understand how gaming standing within the world has changed, but also how Resident Evil as a franchise has stood the test of time. But it also shows us how popular many horror video games are. Again, all you have to do is look at the videos of Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy's Playtime, and other video games, and just how many views these receive to know horror games are well loved in this day and age. Now, regardless about how you might feel about these games, there's no denying the popularity. We love games that fill us with terror. Games which have creatures which go and bump in the night. The fear of what might be hiding in the shadows. It just seems we love a good scare. But that brings us back to our original question. What is the major draw of horror games? Now, to begin answering that question, let's look at a theory that doesn't deal with fear in and out of itself, but rather the rush that we receive from it. Physiologist Walter Cannon first coined the term fight or flight when he noticed the muscles of one's digestive tract changing activity level during one state of fear. Later, he came to realize this was because the body was allocating certain amounts of energy to quickly respond to certain stimuli. We either take the flight approach by running away, or we stay and fight. Now, there is a third term which we don't often refer to called freeze. This is literally where we freeze in place, unable to properly react. One might actually think of a deer in headlights when thinking of this. Now, while it might be good to go into deep detail on the specifics behind flight or fight, we're going to keep it simpler for the time being. I may take the time to do a video on this sometime in the future. What happens is your brain sends signals throughout the body which triggers hormones to release. The air passages in the body begin to dilate, allowing their muscles to receive higher levels of oxygen. This additional oxygen allows people to either fight the danger that is in front of them or to flee from the situation. Epinephrine also causes the blood vessels to contract, allowing the body to redirect blood towards muscle groups, including the heart and lungs. This hormone can also trigger numerous other responses in a person's body, including increased heart rate, sweating, decreased feeling of pain, heightened awareness, sharpened mental focus, and increased strength, among others. After the dangerous or stressful situation passes, the effects of epinephrine can last up to an hour. Now, I gave this information to help us better understand our feeling. Psychologist Frank Farley coined the Type T personalities. Yes, Type T personalities, not personality. There's the big T and the small t personality types. Now, the big T personality is called the thrill seeker, and that's where we're going to place our focus. These individuals seek out opportunities to experience an adrenaline rush. It could be done through a number of things, such as extreme sports, dangerous lines of work, sometimes through destructive means. Now, contrary to popular belief, these individuals are not always destructive. But we do have to recognize that some do thrill seeking through taking drugs, performing illegal activities, or placing themselves and others in dangerous situations, such as speeding past vehicles on a freeway for a rush. Now, these individuals, the reason why they're called thrill seekers is when the flight or fight response kicks in, what happens is these individuals gain a big rush for it. It's almost like a drug to them. And when it's over, they want to do it again. Now, let's take this idea and place it within the realm of a video game. Let's just say, for instance, since we talked about Resident Evil a minute ago, we're playing Resident Evil 3. Now, for those who are uninitiated, there's a character in this by the name of Nemesis, who chases after the protagonist, Jill Valentine, at various points in the game until you get to the very end, in which you have the face-off with Nemesis's final form. So you have this giant, hulking brute chasing you down the soon-to-be-destroyed streets of Raccoon City. The area of safety is up ahead. Behind you, you have Nemesis hot on your heels. Before you are some zombies who are going to try to slow you down enough for Nemesis to attack and kill you. Now, what happens to the human body in moments like this? We are hit with the fight, flight, or freeze mechanisms, albeit very briefly in the scope of things. And so as you're playing, you begin to sweat just a little bit more. Your heart begins to palpitate. Your breathing may increase. And you're focusing on how you can thread the needle through the zombies without being hit, without being killed by Nemesis, without having to redo this area all over again. And you make your escape until Nemesis is able to catch up to you again later on in the game. Now, for those who have the big T personality type, this is a moment of pure delight. This gives them a rush that they desire as they progress through the game, and this rush occurs over and over and over again. This might be one of the reasons why people are so drawn to horror games. That this gives them an opportunity to experience this thrill in a very safe environment, in a very controlled environment, because if the thrill begins to overstimulate and become too much, all you have to do is press Alt F4. You can take the time to calm down, and then you can go and do it again. That may be one of the reasons why we're so drawn to horror games. Now, I do want to present the fact that this is probably not the only reason why we're drawn to horror games. And we're going to discuss those a little bit more as time goes on. But I do want to present this one idea that if you love horror games, you may possibly be one of the big T personality types. As always, I want to thank you for your time and for listening here today. God bless you. I love you all. Love each other. And game in good health.